Hey VC, this is like take 3 or 4 because I forgot some important information. So this is Jeff here with, uh, now I'm just really screwing this up. This is the 5 Steves for Steve's thread. So yeah, so our VC member extraordinaire, Steve Carlson, he just had something really tragic happen. So he was affected by those dam breaks in Michigan, so it just totally wiped him out. Took out his whole basement, which of course was his massive lifetime collection. So about I think it was like 11,000 plus albums lost. So yeah, hearts out, our hearts going out to you, whatever. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to keep this short and sweet because I know there's a whole bunch of these threads. I think I've watched like 4 or 5 of these, so I'm hopefully not going to do any repeats. I think I'm showing some stuff that Michael P. Dawson kind of showed, but I'm showing different albums. So hopefully not a lot of repeats here, and just keep it short and sweet. So the theme is 5 Steve-related albums or records with has Steve in the name or something along those lines, or Steve a Steve member, not that kind of member. Okay, keep this G-rated. Yeah, so here's my first one. So we have Steven Stills, or as he's credited on here, Steve Stills. This is the Great Super Session with Mike Bloomfield, Al Cooper, and Steve Stills. So yeah, I know Steve Carlson has talked a bit about this on his own channel. So I'm gonna keep that short and sweet. If you see this, you can find it very often in pretty much any record store will have this, and they're not terribly expensive. They're always sub $10 when I see them, unless they're like exceptionally clean. Yeah, worth a pickup. So kind of blues rock. Yeah, of course, Steve Stills it would be. And next, Steve, we got Butthole Surfers. So this is my original of Hairway to Steven. I guess that's how it goes. So close enough. Steven. So nice hair there. There you go. So don't know this album, definitely check it out. As always, it's got one of the cooler labels out there. So they're all like pictographs. Probably the other side's not as G-rated. Continuing on, I think somebody showed a Jaws one, but yeah, that's my Japanese pressing of E.T. soundtrack. So we've got Steven Spielberg. Spielberg, I don't know, I think he's pretty original, so he doesn't steal much. E.T. is a special album for me. Talked about that before. And this is good for Steve, because this is something I picked up because of him. So kind of, these guys were kind of radio staples, I guess, in the 80s as for locally anyway. So we had in Washington, D.C. area, we had HFS, which was a big alternative station. So this is one of those bands I kind of forgot about until like he brought it up in the his recent Left of the Dial thread. So I got lucky. I found somebody was clearing out a whole bunch of dead stock. So I got this is actually a sealed copy, which is only a few bucks, which is freaking amazing. So I'll be playing this probably later in the week. I got a big stack of kind of Left of the Dial type stuff, like obscure indie label mostly. Some of it I'd heard of, some of it I hadn't. So I just kind of, a lot of it was just kind of blind buys based on the Scud ratings. So yeah, so this one, Steve was recommending these guys, so kind of vaguely remember them. So picked them up, still sealed, very happy to get that. Hype sticker and all. No, this is not even a cutout. It's pretty cool. So going on the record player label later. This is one I saw on Michael P. Dawson's thing, but it's one of the first Steves I thought of too. Steve Lacy. So I know Steve Carlson's a huge free jazz fan. Not really, but he does like jazz. But yeah, so this is part one of Steve Lacy's collaborations in Japan with the great Togashi Masahiko, or Masahiko Togashi, depending which order you prefer. Togashi was big avant-garde drummer. So he lost the use of his legs kind of early on in his career. So he had this crazy drum set that was all custom. This one's actually a promo copy I found while I was living in Tokyo. The white label promo. So not even on Discogs. I need to get on that and add that to Discogs. It's one of a handful of ones I still haven't gotten around to adding. So, but yeah, these can go for a few bucks just in the regular form. So I'm assuming the promo goes for a little more. So it's kind of interesting. I just realized what was going on. So it's like a Blake sleeve, and they taped it instead of taking the double-sided tape off. Kind of hate Blake sleeves, so maybe I'll just leave it that way. But yeah, these things, they always get all messed up every time you slide it in and out of your collection. So yeah, eventually I'll probably replace the Blake sleeves with the like some 2 or 3 mils. Anyway, awesome stuff. And this is another Japanese Steve Lacy album. Here you go. This is a recent repress. I bought it in Japan, but this was, I believe it's a German repress from a couple years back. So 75. So it's got Steve Lacy on sax in timpani, which I've heard of. I don't know what that is. Put it in the comments if you know. Yuji Takahashi on piano and celesta, and Takehisa Kosugi on violin, voice, toy flute, and percussion. So this one's definitely way out there in the Steve Lacy land. Some early kind of electronic manipulation, free jazz. And last one. This is the one I kind of forgot to explain. The Steve Connection. This is, see if I can put this back together so it looks presentable. You'll see why in a second. Okay, so this is my old high school band, Nasty Rabbit. This is one of our singles, which I'll see in a second. Pop Happy. So it's just me and a bunch of friends, high school, kind of screwing around, guy punk, post-punk, whatever. So I was kind of the vocalist, yeah. But my friend, good friend Steve, still friends. Yep, I think he was on tambourine, as I recall. But yeah, so the story with this one is, yeah, we weren't really that good, so we were just kind of having fun. So we made a whole bunch of singles, and by made I mean, yeah, you see the label came off? Yeah, so that in fact is I'm a Little Teapot. So what we did is we grabbed some, yeah, so like 5, 10 cent, whatever these were going for back in the 90s, 7 inches, and just made them ours. Custom sleeve made out of boating catalogs, which were quite abundant back in the Annapolis area at the time, back before they had the internet. So yeah, so back with QP on the other side. So if there's any My Little Teapot fans out there, I'm sorry I murdered the record, but it was a little scratchy to begin with. So yeah, my friend Steve, other friend Steve, and the Nasty Rabbit, named after there was a kind of a cult movie around that same name that we used to go to Tower Records, which is also Tower Video, and rent all these kind of weird B movies, and that was probably like a C or a D movie, but I'd totally watch it again. It was a fun movie. So anyway, so going out to Steve Carlson. So if you made it this far, I should put this in the beginning of the video like I did the other ones, but yeah, we have a GoFundMe going out because it sounds like he got really screwed on his insurance payments, payout, whatever. So I might throw some more money in that because I didn't realize he was going to get hit that hard. So yeah, so raised a bit of money for him to help him out. So I think he's, for that 11,000 album collection, I think he's only getting like 7,500 or something ridiculous because he didn't get the extra coverage through his insurance. So something I gotta look into myself, because my water heater and whatnot's next to the record room. And yeah, my sister actually just had the same thing happen. It blew out her game room. So she had a whole bunch of, she's like an insane gamer. So she's got like literally thousands and thousands of board games, and some of them sealed and quite rare, I would imagine. So those got blown out, but not as bad as Steve. So yeah, so we got the GoFundMe, and we're working on a Steve Carlson love train. So I'll add links to things as we get them going. But the GoFundMe's active, and they've got a fair amount going in there already. Even though it's only been up a couple days, so I'll put the links to those in the bottom. So the love train, I have a spreadsheet I'm starting with Tim over DJ High Noon. So we got something going there. So we're gonna, just so he doesn't get a lot of duplicates, if we can, so he's not gonna get 10,000 Zamrock albums. So anyway, so yeah, this is just me procrastinating because I in the middle of a grout job. So I better get back to that before stuff starts. Well, it's getting kind of late, so I need to get that done. And so on. So it's me procrastinating. Have a good weekend, everyone, as good as you can. Yep, and yeah, Steve actually did post a new video. If I can't remember if I included that in the beginning of this vid or not, because this, like I said, it's take 4 or 5. So check that out. Still pretty cheerful. So yeah, you just be you, Steve. Take care, VC.